What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today I want to do something a little bit different with you guys. Instead of my normal style of videos, I actually wanted to review a gameplay that I got last night where I was playing as Lifeline. I dropped over 3,000 damage as well as I think 11 kills in ranked. So I wanted to kind of analyze my gameplay, show you guys some of the mistakes I made, some of the things I did right, and hopefully this will help a lot of you guys out who might be struggling in Apex Legends or just ranked specifically. If you guys do enjoy these type of videos, make sure to drop a like on the channel, and I also just want to let you guys know we are super close to hitting 50k subs, so if you guys are not yet subscribed, please remember to do so. It'll definitely help me out a lot, and I have something very special planned for once we hit 50,000 subs. So we start this game off landing east of Fragment East. This is kind of like a low populated area that has some decent loot, but it's in a pretty good position because you can easily rotate to Fragment East or the Sorting Factory, depending on what kind of strategy you want to take. In this specific gameplay, I'm rocking the Hemlock and a longbow. Personally, I think the Hemlock is honestly one of the strongest guns in the game right now. Got a buff at the beginning of season 6, and it is so much fun to use and so satisfying to get kills with. Now normally I would probably use a triple take or a sentinel before I equipped a longbow, but in this game I kind of just felt like doing something different. I definitely think the triple take and sentinel are both better snipers than the longbow right now, but I mean honestly you can really use whatever sniper you're most comfortable with. Now moving on to the first team fight that we actually had, this was in the same location that we landed, and I noticed that a team was pushing into the building while a crypto ult was basically being placed right on top of them. So I was playing a little bit back because I didn't know how many people were actually over there, or what the legends were or what their plan was for that fight. But as soon as I saw that crypto ult, I knew there would be enough chaos to safely engage or just push up a little bit more. So as I'm rushing into the building, I know that one team is inside, so I throw a couple grenades just in an attempt to either damage them or to push them outside. The grenades don't really do anything, so I instead just position myself in a place right next to the building, so I'm safely able to take down both the Revenant and the Caustic, who was I guess the one hiding inside the building in the first place. This positioning I had definitely kept me alive, and as a Lifeline player I'm always trying to stay behind my teammates. I never want to be the first one to actually rush into a fight, because as you guys know, Lifeline's passive is super strong. It's very easy for her to revive her teammates, but if Lifeline goes down, then it's just she's basically useless. Now as we're starting the second fight with the team who ran away originally, I used the same strategy with my sniper to kind of try to figure out what kind of armor the enemy has. After breaking Gibraltar's shield, I noticed that he threw down his dome shield very early, and I thought that was kind of suspicious. I didn't know if he was just not that great of a Gibraltar player or if he really thought that his team was in that much trouble, so I kind of had a reason for us to push on them. I positioned myself next to the small trailer in order to lock in on Gibraltar, and I also wanted to make sure that none of the other enemies who had high ground were able to shoot me. I kind of just wanted to put myself in a 1v1 situation with Gibraltar. Luckily I was able to melt him after the dome shield went away, but I wasn't paying attention to footsteps, so a crypto was able to sneak right behind me and down my teammate. Luckily I was Lifeline and I was able to pick up my teammate. However, I made a mistake in placing my heal drone right out in the open. I really didn't have to do that. I didn't know for sure if we were going to get third partied by another team, so I could have easily just placed the heal drone inside or in a better area where there was a little bit more cover, but luckily it was Bangalore. She was just able to put her smoke down and heal up pretty quickly and effectively. Now as we're heading to Capital City, my teammate actually pings that enemies were spotted right behind us. I look over and I notice that they're being chased down by the circle, so we are in a very good position since they basically have nowhere to go. Now since I'm playing Lifeline, like I mentioned before, I position myself in a place where I can just safely poke some of the enemies. I don't want to be the first one to go down, and I definitely don't want to be the first one to actually rush into the fight. I wait until my teammates are in front of me before I push. Unfortunately, Pathfinder goes down quickly into the fight, but I'm able to finish off the enemy Lifeline before picking Pathfinder up. Now I almost made a huge mistake right here because I had no idea whether the Bangalore ult that just came down was friendly or from the enemies, but I decided to pick up Pathfinder anyways. Now luckily it was our Bangalore's ultimate, but if it wasn't, Pathfinder would have 100% died just because the rockets would have killed him during the revival animation. That's just one thing you gotta remember as Lifeline, is that when you're reviving someone, they can't actually use their shields as they're being picked up. So if something like a grenade is nearby or there are rockets falling from the sky, it's definitely not a good idea to pick them up because the knockdown shield will probably make them survive rather than just die instantly. Now we had just killed 2 enemies, but there was still 1 guy left. I was kind of being a little bit aggressive in this play. I should have just stayed back and helped my teammates heal up. I had my Doctrine available, I could have just given it to Pathfinder and let him get some health back, but instead I tried to play a little bit too aggressive and went down down immediately. Now this could have turned really badly, and that Costa could have easily probably just killed both of our teammates if he was good enough. Luckily though, he fled away. I was able to get revived, but this could have easily just been the end of the game just because of that stupid play that I made right there. Now this is just another tip that I quickly want to mention to you guys. I found some gold body armor in this care package, and what I see a lot of people for some reason doing is that even when they have red Evo armor, they'll switch to the gold body armor, which isn't always the best idea. I definitely think red Evo is going to always be better than gold armor unless you're low on shield batteries and med kits. If you're low on those specific healing items, then it's probably definitely better to get a gold body shield, just because you can easily just use syringes and shield cells to quickly, kind of double the amount that you get from those items. Now in this clip, I just want to point out how far away my teammates actually were from me. I was definitely pushed up way too far ahead, but I also knew that I only heard shots coming from in front of me, so I was pretty certain that no one was going to come from behind me and kill me. But you guys can see in this clip just how passive and how, back I'm actually playing, because there is no reason for me to rush in at all. I know my teammates are coming up behind me, so all I have to really do is just poke down the enemies and hope that my teammates can finish them off. Even when I was shooting that Wraith who was looting, she didn't even crack my armor, but I still pushed back just to heal up a bit because I had no idea how many enemy teams were actually in the vicinity. And luckily I did that and managed to get some high ground, which got me some really good shots on people that were probably going to flank my team and actually kill them. So I honestly do believe that if I didn't actually rotate right there, we might have lost the game during this specific play. Now instead of using a shield battery right there, I just decided to swap my armor just because it was a little bit faster. I noticed that Bangalore gets down from an enemy, and there are just so many people fighting right now. So as I'm trying to revive Bangalore, I end up taking out the Bloodhound, who is just barely in the circle right now. Pathfinder goes down, and right here I should have immediately just went to revive him, but I got a little bit too aggressive after I heard someone self-reviving. But again, we just got third-partied by someone else, so I immediately have to run back. Luckily Bangalore is able to pick up Pathfinder, and I can just drop my heal drone right here, but I definitely 100% should have just focused on reviving Pathfinder, because I feel like that lifeline could have easily come and just destroyed. Now at this point I noticed that I'm basically out of ammo for my Hemlock, so I switch over to a Volt with digital threat just because we have a Bangalore on our team, and you guys will see towards the end of the game why this actually came in handy so much. I also equipped the Sniper digital threat just because on World's Edge especially, the end game can be a lot of long range fighting, and I just wanted to be prepared just in case there were teams, kind of camping out in one specific location. I didn't want to unexpectedly have to, start shooting at someone 300 meters away with an R301. You always want to be prepared just in case you have to do those long range fights. As you guys saw before, I tried to take some risky shots on that guy going up the balloon. I probably shouldn't have done that because it would have been pretty hard for me to actually knock him, and the only thing I did was basically just give away our position even more. So as soon as that happened, I immediately wanted to run into the circle. One of the worst things you can do is try to shoot a team inside the circle when you're super far outside, because all they have to do is just turn around and basically block you from coming inside the circle. So you're either dead to the storm or they'll just shoot you and kill you. So that was definitely kind of a small mistake on my part, but luckily it didn't affect things too much because me and my team were easily able to just run inside the circle. For the next couple minutes, I'm basically just playing very defensive, just trying to poke the enemy down because they're so far away and they're both fighting each other. It's honestly just a perfect opportunity for me to kind of waste some of their shields or their health, and I kind of wanted to make this last as long as possible. I sort of figured that if, we kept good positioning and just did a little bit of damage over time, that eventually we'd be able to drain all of their shields and probably easily take them out. I think what a lot of people tend to do, especially in public matches, but also a lot of times in ranked, is they get way too aggressive towards the end of the game when there's only 2 squads remaining. It really doesn't make sense to rush any of the people that we're fighting right now just because I know there's another team right behind them that'll probably come in third party us and just easily get a win. So you guys can see that we're playing very defensively. We don't actually go offensively until the Wraith decides to push on us, and even then we don't even go and push into their building just yet because we weren't 100% sure that the other team was far enough away where we could do that safely. So luckily Pathfinder had his ultimate, we were able to get some high ground, and this is kind of where you just got to be patient a little bit. We know the circle is going to be closing in very soon, and we also know that that team is kind of just stuck in that building right there. So at this point we could have easily just rushed in right now, but I think we just wanted to wait a little bit longer, and especially since that Wraith portal was just kind of blocking the doorway, it didn't make sense for us to push just yet. But as you guys will see in just a second, we do manage to push down, and I have my Volt with the the digital thread on it, which works so well with Bangalore right here. She throws her smoke out, and it just makes it so easy to actually see inside. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I love playing with Bangalore. I think any gun that uses digital threat is just super good right now. But yeah, in this fight, we waited to push inside until we knocked a guy who was outside. This basically just made it very predictable for where the enemies are going to be. If we tried to rush in there with all 3 guys, then it might have been a little bit difficult, but the one guy kind of screwed himself by, trying to get the flank on us outside. So luckily, we managed to kill everyone. We also didn't get third-partied by the enemy, and that kind of gave me the impression that they didn't have a full team, so it gave me a little bit more confidence to actually be more aggressive. Now, another tip I just want to give you guys is that you should probably always assume in ranked that, whenever you see someone, they have a full team with them. It just doesn't make sense to assume that, it's just one guy unless you know 100% for sure, because there's so many times where you think it's one person and then you rush in and then like 2 more people come out. That's one of the easiest ways to actually throw a game. So we played this very safely, and as I had predicted just before, there were only 2 enemies left on the team. Octane was kind of being a little ballsy and rushing in on me, so I managed to knock him down pretty quickly, and then towards the end of the fight, Pathfinder is the one to get the final kill, which ends up winning us the game. So this was a really good game in my opinion. Like, I know I made a decent amount of mistakes, but even after kind of like reviewing my gameplay here in this video, I feel like I've learned a lot about my play style and how I can actually improve in the future. So I'm hoping this video helps you guys as much as it helped me just reviewing my own gameplay. If you guys do enjoy this series and you want me to continue doing it, please make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet already. But thank you as always for watching. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace out.